Freedom is a profound concept. It embodies the essence of human autonomy, the ability to make choices without external constraints, to express oneself authentically and without fear. Freedom is integral to human fulfillment and growth, yet it transcends individual liberty. It encompasses the collective good. A society where freedom flourishes is one where all can prosper. Freedom is the bedrock of justice and equality. Despite its complexities, the philosophical pursuit of freedom remains a noble and essential quest. Imagine two societies, each shaped by different philosophical views on freedom. One believes in individual liberty, where personal freedom is paramount and government intervention is minimal. The other emphasizes collective security, where the state plays a significant role in maintaining order and stability. In the society valuing individual liberty, people are free to criticize the government. They can assemble peacefully, practice their religion, and express their opinions without fear of reprisal. The media operates independently, providing a platform for diverse viewpoints. Citizens actively participate in shaping their own destiny. Contrast this with the society prioritizing collective security. This stark contrast highlights how different philosophies of freedom shape the fabric of societies. The annals of history reveal profound philosophical debates and reflections on the essence of freedom. From the ancient Greeks, who pondered the nature of liberty and justice, to the American revolutionaries who philosophized about self-governance and individual rights, the quest for freedom has always been intertwined with deep intellectual inquiry. Consider the philosophical arguments against slavery. For centuries, thinkers and activists challenged the moral and ethical justifications of treating humans as property. It took relentless philosophical discourse, activism, and ultimately a bloody civil war for America to confront and abolish this inhumane practice. The fight for women's suffrage also stemmed from philosophical debates about equality and justice. These philosophical struggles remind us that freedom is not merely a physical state, but a profound intellectual and moral pursuit. When people unite under the banner of philosophical ideals, they become an unstoppable force for change. Section 4: Freedom's shackles, modern barriers to liberty. While we have made significant strides towards a more just and equitable world, the philosophical quest for freedom remains ever pertinent. Today, new existential challenges threaten to erode the very essence of liberty. One such philosophical challenge is the rise of economic inequality, which questions the very nature of justice and fairness. As the gap between the rich and poor widens, so too does the disparity in the lived experience of freedom. Another philosophical threat to freedom comes from authoritarian regimes that challenge the very principles of autonomy and human rights. The digital age, while offering new avenues for communication and connection, also presents new ethical dilemmas regarding privacy and surveillance. In the face of these philosophical challenges, it's more important than ever to remain vigilant and to defend the values of freedom and democracy. We must continue to engage in philosophical discourse, speak out against injustice, and work towards a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a life of dignity and freedom. Section 5: The unseen walls, social constraints on freedom. While laws and governments can impose tangible restrictions on freedom, there are also invisible walls that confine us: social norms, cultural expectations, and ingrained prejudices. These subtle forms of oppression can be just as powerful in limiting our choices and shaping our destinies. Consider the constraints placed on individuals based on their gender. In many societies, women still face discrimination in education, employment, and political participation. Similarly, individuals from marginalized communities often face systemic racism, religious intolerance, or homophobia. Social constraints can also manifest in more subtle ways through peer pressure, cultural norms, or the fear of being ostracized. Philosophically, these constraints challenge the very notion of free will and autonomy. True freedom encompasses not just political and economic liberty, but also the freedom to be our true selves without fear of judgment or discrimination. Section 6: Champions of Liberty, inspiring tales of freedom, fighters and their philosophical motivations. Throughout history, countless individuals have risen to challenge oppression, driven by profound philosophical beliefs in justice and equality. One such icon is Nelson Mandela, who dedicated his life to fighting apartheid in South Africa, inspired by the philosophy of Ubuntu, which emphasizes our shared humanity. Imprisoned for 27 years for his activism, Mandela emerged as a symbol of hope and resilience, ultimately leading his country to a peaceful transition to democracy. Malala Yousafzai, a young Pakistani activist shot by the Taliban for advocating for girls' education, is another shining example of courage, driven by her belief in the transformative power of education. From Rosa Parks's courageous act of defiance on a segregated bus, motivated by her conviction in the inherent dignity of every individual, to Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent resistance against British rule, rooted in the principle of ahimsa, or non-violence, history is replete with examples of ordinary individuals who, through their extraordinary acts of courage and philosophical convictions, help to bend the arc of history towards justice. These stories remind us that change is possible, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. They inspire us to raise our voices against injustice and to never give up on the pursuit of a more just and equitable world, guided by the philosophies that have driven these champions of liberty. Section 7. Paving the path to universal freedom. The quest for universal freedom is not just a political or economic endeavor, but a profound philosophical journey. It challenges us to reflect on the essence of human dignity, the nature of justice, and the moral imperatives that bind us together as a global community. Education plays a crucial role in this philosophical pursuit, nurturing critical thinking, empathy, and a deep respect for human rights. Philosophically, economic justice is about recognizing the inherent worth of every individual and ensuring that all have the means to flourish. Addressing income inequality and ensuring fair opportunities are moral imperatives in our shared human experience. Defending democratic institutions and upholding the rule of law are foundational to the philosophical concept of freedom. Protecting freedom of speech, assembly, and the press is essential for a society where truth and justice prevail. The philosophical journey towards universal freedom is ongoing, demanding constant reflection, unwavering commitment, and a collective effort to build a more just and equitable world for all.